to know.
The men know that.
Yeah, that's
They
what they said.
They
yeah.
know that.
That's what
they
know
said
that.
it categorically.
What did they
Yeah.
say?
What did we hot before the marriage, and then once we get into the marriage, everything dead.
What's you saying?
That's interesting, Natalie. What is dead?
All right, so whereas I want to bring closure on the red flag segment, I need to ask if you have ever been exposed to a situation.
Can I say something real?
Yes.
I wanted to add something
There is
more to
something
go
that
ahead.
Kayan just said in terms of family. I'm trying to remember. There's something that she said about family, and this is for especially women in the church who are dating. And, you know, you may encourage group dating. And, but one of the things that the women, or, well, I can't say me, but the single women should look out for too, is if you have somebody, a male in the church, right? And this person wants to date you and he cannot make it public.
He's hiding it.
Yes, he's hiding the relationship with you.
Yes.
So you can't go to your bishop or your pastor and say, I'm dating this person so that the church or everybody can know. That for me is a red flag. Because chances are he might be dating other persons that you are not aware of. And if this person can't introduce you to his mother, his father,
Yes.
then something is wrong. You're just not the girl to take home. You understand? So that's something that I look at as well.
Yes.
But
The point
Go ahead.
I wanted to add, Rev, is that, you know, sometimes in talking to a person, you would have given them the initial ear, right? But then where they take the conversation is another matter, because almost immediately they're going down the road of sex, which tells me that that's what you are after. You're not
but
necessarily.
which one is not after that?
But Rev, there is more to sex, more to life, and more to relationships than sex.
How are you going
So
to convince the men of that?
how am
Actually, you have to
I am
Let us wait until we get to the Let us get to the red flag story.
But that is a red. But that's a red flag. That's a red
From
flag.
the onset of the conversation, you're going to talk about sex. That's what
So
they
there's
mean.
nothing for you to benefit from the conversation.
Is
Yes.
it that I'm just a count for
But
you?
naturally-
You want to add me to your count?
Yes.
Naturally,
Yes.
so you understand
Yes.
what they are saying.
But we'll get to that. I'll clarify
You have to
later.
defend
though.
the men down
I
there.
will.
Yes.
I will. But it is a red flag, though, Bishop.
a red
If
flag.
you meet somebody and all they're talking
It's about
is
his sex.
But Natalie, you're not defending your flipping.
I'll get
now.
to that.
Let me defend the men. That's why I'm on this set, to defend the men. And I'll come back to a red flag in that context. But just to answer this, and we'll have a fulsome discussion on that. But if it is, I'm asking, that you are desperately in need of renting a house, is it reasonable for you to understand that perhaps after the person tell you good morning, or even before they ask if you know where there's a house rented? I'm asking. Is that's a reasonable thing to say? Come on, I don't think I'm asking.
I'm not sure I understand what
question.
you're
In
saying.
other words, what is on a person's mind
Yes.
is what is likely to talk about first.
But Rev,
right,
if-
all right.
that you are right. You are very much.
Thinking the men now,
No,
because
I'm not
that's the
thinking.
point we're
No,
making.
I am not thinking.
If that's all
I
on your
am
mind,
all I'm
then-
saying. Remember, we're talking about on the fulsome discussion with Beer Talk. That's why I'm on this set, because I know that they will trash the man. Because listen to me now. I am not negating your point that it's not a red flag. All I'm saying is that we are providing a space of thinking that there should be an understanding that this is how men are wired. It's not about right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, in the scheme of things, perhaps that was what I first said to you. But is it not very possible? Hold on. Is it not very possible that I could be and become the greatest husband that you could ever have had?
Yeah, but you just kill yourself because you need some tact.
You
You need some tact, and you have to have self-control with your also your mouth.
But also, Rev, even though men are wired sexually, they're wired that way. Is that all there is to the person?
No, not at all. But
but you bringing it up, where you bringing it up in our conversation will tell me the timing. Will tell me what is on your brain. What is there?
It's 3 against 1 here.
Yes. Sorry,
I love this. You come on the lady. You come on the lady side because you now have oral foster.
Oral.
Yes.
That's how she likes to call her husband.
Oral.
Yes.
The first time of meeting, he confessed to us on this set.
Yes. Well, I wasn't
I
here.
wonder you want me to walk off the set or you want me to speak to the people because I'm here. Natalie, I'm disappointed in you. I'm enjoying this. George, I'm enjoying this. What Oral first said on that day of meeting this sumptuous, attractive woman, who in her mind he didn't know was depressed, but he saw what he wanted. And though he was practicing Spanish, what he was speaking in Spanish that he want to make love to you and he want to marry you, that was what he said empirically to us. And today, you are lauding 18 years of solid relationship. All I'm saying, I've jumped into my producer John. All I'm saying, I come on the floor. All I'm saying, I'm not legitimizing. I understand the question full. That for someone to just walk up to you and is presenting that to you, it tells you where you're at.
Because
and I'm saying truthfully, that's where most times a person operate from.
Right.
And you can make your conclusions. But sometimes, were you not the ones that said sometimes red flags are good?
Yes.
So that's a good red flag.
Interesting in the context.
No, I understand what you mean.
In the context, in terms of men.
Yes.
If you are saying dating somebody, right?
Yeah.
And the person is not, you don't see like the person attractive to you. You understand? Not looking at you a certain way, even though he may not know that you know that he's looking at you, admiring you. You understand? And say, boy, you look real good,
Yeah.
You understand? You understand, man?
Yeah.
Then you know, say, later on, that's gonna be a problem.
Right.
Because chances are he might not be attracted to you. You understand? So that might be a red flag. What you shaking it? Shaking your head. For the women, in terms of women, looking on the men, or if the man can not attracted to you, right? Not me. I'm not talking about advancing now to want to have sex, but maybe touching you. You understand? Want to be close to you.
Or even expressing his admiration
to you. Right. Then that for me is also a red flag.
If you
What you mean when you say it's a, it can be good and bad. Because if he doesn't want to touch you, it can be.
If he's not expressing his admiration
for you, yes,
that's a red flag.
That's a red flag.
And on the other side, you don't want an overtone or premature.
Right.
That's the point.
Because you want to know. Even in the marriage, you want to know, so you have the man one sort of way.
Yes.
You understand?
Exactly.
So
Yes.
you want to know that him look on you and say, yeah. My girl.
Yes.
You understand? Because of the way she look.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's what I'm talking about. I know he's going to take me offset after this.
All right. But I wanted to have a bit of clarity. In terms of now, how do you deal with a red flag where, let's say initially, you met the person and you connect from your perspective as hottie girls, so you connect the person, just by looking, but down the road, you see a manifestation of big red flags. how easy is it to disconnect emotionally, since you guys are wired that way, having seen that down there, so when initially you really just had connect with the person?
Wow.
All right, let me take that one, Rev. Because one of my red flags that I didn't necessarily bring out before was that somebody who can be overbearing. And so I had an experience where the person I was dating I realized after some time that this person could easily overshadow me, so to speak, would want to tell me what it is that I should do. And I could see down the road what would possibly happen.
Control freak.
Yes, this person would have been a control freak. And so it took me a while, actually. It took over 6 months for us to break off when it is that I actually decided that I no longer want to be with this person. It took me a while to move away from the relationship. As a matter of fact, without speaking too much on it, we actually ended up being counseled by somebody to say, listen, if the young miss wants to move on, allow her to move on. That's the extent to which it got. Because once persons have invested, then it is that they might not necessarily want to easily pull away, which also speaks to a lot of marriages where in the planning phase, the day before, a week before the wedding, they realize that this is not the person they want to spend the rest of their lives with. But they have already invested so much that they invested emotionally, invested financially and otherwise, that they don't necessarily want to pull away. But it is best when you see these red flags and you're not sure if you're able to deal with them. As a matter of fact, once they're unresolved, then I wouldn't suggest that you walk into a marriage with those things unresolved.
It's easier said than
done.
done. Because
that is true though.
I remember doing a research once, and you may seem that the Christian marriages are failing than the ones outside. And one of the things is, Bishop, is we see the red flags, right? The men see it, the women, they see it too. But because they are so emotionally connected to each other, because they are afraid of what the church is going to say, the date has already been set. You understand? Because of all of the public embarrassment and everything, they overlook and they continue in the marriage. And then later on, all the problems them start showing up. You understand? So it will take a lot of strong self-will to pull away from that person. And if you need help, sometimes persons are so blinded in love that they don't want any help.
Yes.
You understand?
Just that they don't want the help, but they don't necessarily even see the red flags.
They may not even see the red flags as well. And so that is why it is good that if you're dating, you're not isolated. You understand? So you are in a community where you're accountable to persons, where persons are watching and seeing what is going on.
Right. Exactly.
You understand? When you isolate yourself, you create all sorts of issues for yourself because there's nobody there to help you to say so and so. And even with those advices that you're getting, because you're so in love with this person, you're not seeing it.
Yes.
You understand? And I don't want to get too spiritual either, but even in the mere fact that you are spending time with each other, exchanging gifts and all of that, you may even create some sort of soul tie that is going to be another major issue that you're going to have to be dealing with in terms of separating yourself from the person.
In other words, do not hide and lick. Do not hide and date in church. That's the point. That's
But it also goes back to something our Rev loves to say, and that is lone rangers die.
Yes.
When you isolate yourself, it is much more easier for the enemy to pull you away than from when you're in a community and being held accountable by others.
Right. Well, while we prepare to transition from that point, because in our previous program we spoke to the need to not allow engagement to kind of solidify your relationship when you have not lived out the process of, familiarizing. Less after engagement, you find out it can't work and you feel you're going to be embarrassing to not go through with it and those stuff. But 2 points that I think, one could say could be made from that. One is counseling in a relationship should be as early as possible. Yes? Not just when marriage is in pending view. Yes, right.
That's a very good point.
Because that could be very telling as you help to discover. And certainly you speak about the community, that's critical in terms of not being a lone ranger and so on. But all right, but let us move on to, as we continue the exciting journey here, to that other aspect now. Now, I know you guys are steep in your church and director of this and director of that. And, these are people who have all night prayer meeting and intercessors in the ministry. And we love those things. But we want, when we come to times like these, for people to talk real
things,
talking.
Yes.
So, what are some of the reasons why people get married? You could tell us some of the reasons to why you get married without telling me that angel visit you and those kind of puppy show stories. Yes. Why you wanted to be married? Perhaps you can start from that because you're both married.
Okay. All right. So for me, or I don't know if I must say for me, but in general, I think we want companionship. So God made us, innately we have this thing inside of us that wants companionship. If we cannot detach ourselves from it because we want to have somebody who we can be intimate with.
Also, companionship is different from intimate. Because I was just about to ask to say, not to sound foolish, I was going to say, well, don't talk to your grandfather.
Yeah, that's it.
Right. So, and I'm not talking about intimate as in sexual intimacy, right? But you want somebody who you can expose yourself, share you with, be connected to, be one with. You understand?
You're not talking about sexual intimacy?
You said not necessarily.
Not necessarily,
okay.
Right? So in wanting companionship and friendship, you may see somebody, and if that person can offer that sort of companionship that you want, then persons may be gravitated to. Well, that's one of the reasons why people may get married. People may get married because, for security. You understand? And security can be protection, like the priest of the household. You want that sort of security. You want security even from danger. You want financial security or stability. You understand? We can't leave out the money part of it because that is critical.
Very critical.
You understand?
So what do you mean by that? So you'd want to marry to me to make sure you have money.
Of course.
So I have to have money. So poor man can't get any woman.
Poor man can get woman in a rave.
If you have ambition.
That's right.
Ambition.
Yes. Me like how the two are in sync, you know.
A lot of things, maybe. So, but then I want a definition of ambition because we want men to know.
Yes.
Because a lot of men
you must have
know.
ambition.
Yes.
And not just your ambition can't start. When you start date and you're married, it have to continue.
But before we build on the ambition, let me come back to the money.
Yes.
Let us talk about that. You are saying now the woman, you women, You women are interested to look at a man who has money.
I think you're twisting her words, Bishop.
Because that's not what I'm saying.
I think you're twisting the words, Rev. I don't think that was the intent of what she said.
What was she saying?
She was basically saying that persons need to be financially compatible. If that is
want to use
let me break that down. Let me break it down, Rev. It can't be that I get married to you and then after the wedding that both of us are staring at each other and there's nothing in the cupboard and we're wondering what it is that we're going to eat, and then you are going to want the woman to provide. So a woman wants to know that a man is able to provide for her financially as well. Bring something to the table.
So what you're saying, the man must have money?
Not necessarily.
All right, so
let me say.
So why are we afraid of that?
No, but
we're not afraid.
That's what it means. When you said, I think when you say money, they mean maybe wealthy. We're not talking about wealthy. We're just talking about he must be able to provide, having money to provide. Because in order to provide, they need money. That's what it means.
So suppose I'm a farmer, right? And I can provide yam and banana. No, it's not provision.
Can you pay the light and the water bill and the rent?
You go to the market with it.
Okay.
Yam and
So
banana.
But that's money. That is somebody who is able to provide, Rev.
Yes.
But you know, another big point is a point I heard some time ago. One preacher said that the Lord revealed to her, you don't necessarily need money. You need the things that money can buy. So that is taking it to a different realm.
All right, but all we're saying, in the interest of time, we're saying whether what it can buy or not, but you're saying we're talking about reasons for being married. And one of the things that as a woman, you're talking about security and those things, but also as a woman, you want to feel assured that this man has money or the capacity to provide. Which is what money can do.
Yes. That's right.
Okay, all right, fine. All right, so you're listing a few things about reasons and companionship. Anything you want to weigh in on that?
Another reason, though it might be wrong, I not necessarily want to use the word wrong, but might not be the best reason to want to get married, is that for persons living in a community, especially a community of believers, when you see one young person get married, you want to get married too.
Copycat kind of.
Copycat kind of thing without knowing the plans and the purposes for your life. So you have to be careful of why is it that you really want to get married? Is it that I've met the person I want to marry, or is it that because I'm going to church and everybody down there married, so me need somebody for married too?
And on that too, Ken, is church.
Yes.
The persons in church get married also, or we get married also, because you want to have sex.
Right, that's what I was saying.
They want to have sex.
But nothing is wrong with it, though. That's the thing. Which is why I said, when you said companionship, I was trying to flesh it out.
Right.
What does that mean?
Yeah, they want to have sex.
Because we don't just want to
is it want to have want to have sex or want to not have the guilt of having sex outside of marriage?
Right.
Well,
you have some women and men want married because they want to have sex.
Well, firstly,
that's an important reason for wanting to get married, though.
That's a clarity.
There's something wrong with that. That's my question.
We're talking about the woman. That's the first clarity I want to. Right?
Women,
right? Mm-hmm. And then you're making a valid point and amplify a second point. The first point is that you are saying there are women who, one of the reasons for them wanting to be married is because they want to be sexually involved. Mm-hmm. That's what you're saying.
Yes. And that's a big reason why most people want to get married who are in the church, right? A lot of people are in the church.
Okay.
You don't think so?
Well, I'm listening. I'm here to learn.
Yes.
and so, Kay, you were making, I think, an extended point, and which is really wanting to be so married. It's actually marrying, so that you can almost legitimize it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So you
Yes.
don't carry the guilt of
guilt
that.
of that.
Right.
But by your consensus, I'm asking. So, sex is a big issue for women.
Yes, it is too.
It's just that.
What does that mean when you say?
But the men seem to think when you get into the marriage is a different thing. So that's where we need to get to know.
The men know that.
Yeah, that's
They
what they said.
They
yeah.
know that.
That's where
they
they know
said
that.
it categorically.
What did they
Yeah.
say?
What did
we,
they-
we hot before the marriage, and then once we get into the marriage, everything dead.
What you saying?
That's interesting, Natalie. What is dead?
But let's finish on this and then we move to the news and notes, because we haven't covered that yet.
Well, we'll move on. What can I say? It has been real nice talking to you, fantastic ladies.
Yes.
And we are very happy here on the B1 Marriage Ministry video podcast.
Yes, want to really thank them for coming.
Yes.
Also want to thank our sponsor, Mattox Health and Fitness. Also, our resident producer, George Malcolm Walker, our program director, Damian De Aguilar. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at New Foundation Christian Ministries. Like us on Facebook at New Foundation Christian Ministries, and on B1 Marriage Ministry is our Instagram page. Thank you for watching.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
bye.